No one has the power to stop you, unless you hand it to them. There's something you need to understand right now. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to build your dreams for you. No one will live the life you're letting slip away. And that's not a bad thing. It's your greatest power. This is not just another video with pretty phrases or empty promises. Here, you'll be told the truth, raw if necessary. Because true triumph isn't achieved by caressing your comfort zone, but by shattering it into 1,000 pieces. And if you stay, if you listen until the end, something inside you will begin to shift. And no, it won't be comfortable, but it will make you unstoppable. The enigmatic book you're about to hear was written by a man who knew the secret of success. Not the fake success sold out there. The real one. The one built with character, with purpose, and with silent work when no one is applauding. Every word here was written to turn ordinary men into unstoppable forces. So sharpen your mind, ignite your spirit, and prepare to stop living halfway. Because if you don't rise, the world will keep crushing you. But if you choose to rise, no force will be able to stop you. And if you're ready to begin this transformation, subscribe now and comment below. I will become a successful man. That way I'll know you're awake, that you're ready, and that this message is reaching those who need it most. Now then, let's begin. Chapter 1. The power already inside you. Inside every man lies a seed of greatness. But not all seeds bloom, because not all dare to cultivate them. It's not about luck. It's not about connections. It's not about someone discovering you one day and turning you into what you're still afraid to become. It's about you. About what you do when no one is watching. About what you think when the noise fades and only your truth remains. The great mistake of the average man is waiting. Waiting for the ideal moment. Waiting for others' validation. Waiting for perfect circumstances. But what they don't know is that opportunities don't come to those who wait, but to those who prepare. The successful man is not born ready. He is forged, blow by blow, decision after decision. And if I told you that you already have everything you need, would you believe me? Probably not. Because you've been taught to doubt yourself, to live in fear, to compare, to settle for little when your soul cries out for more. But what no one told you is that within you lies a force more powerful than any external obstacle. You just need to awaken it. Don't get it twisted. Being a successful man doesn't mean having millions in the bank. It means having control over your mind, your will, your decisions. It means you look in the mirror and know you're on the right path, even if you're still far from the top. Failure is just a teacher, never a final verdict. How many times have you felt like you don't measure up? That others are moving forward while you're stuck? That your dreams are drifting away while reality weighs you down? But let me tell you this clearly. Every successful man was first a defeated man who decided not to stay on the ground. The book makes it clear. Life is a constant choice between giving up or standing firm. And you choose, every day, with every small act, which side you're on. What separates the mediocre from the great is not talent, but character. Yes, character. That quality forged in hardship. Tempered under pressure. Tested when everyone leaves and it's just you and your fears. Because in that silence is where the real you can speak. And if you listen closely, you'll hear a voice telling you, keep going. That voice is no accident. It's your essence. Your soul reminding you who you were before the world convinced you you were less. And you know what? Many have already given up. Many have dropped their arms. But if you're here, there's still fire in you. You still have a calling. You can still build something so strong that nothing and no one can destroy it. The man who conquers his inner world can conquer any outer one. And this isn't hollow motivation. It's a universal law. What you achieve on the outside is a direct reflection of what you master on the inside. That's why this journey starts with you. Not with techniques, not with magic formulas or empty rituals. It starts with a commitment. The commitment to yourself. Let me warn you, this path won't be comfortable. There will be doubts, setbacks, falls. But if you remain firm, if you stand when everything is falling apart, you'll begin to notice how your mind transforms, your energy shifts, and your world responds. It's not about shouting to the world who you are. It's about becoming someone so firm, so brave, so determined, that the world has no choice but to hear you. So do it. Not tomorrow. Not when things are better. Do it today. Do it now. Do it for you. Because no one is going to give you what you keep denying yourself. And if you don't wake up, you'll keep living a borrowed life, a half-life. But if you wake up, then the successful man within you will finally come to light. Chapter 2. No one has the power to stop you unless you hand it to them. The greatest enemy of man doesn't live outside, but within his own mind. Think about this for a moment. How many times have you held back from acting because you feared what others would say? How many times have you silenced your ideas, your dreams, your decisions, just to avoid making others uncomfortable? How many times have you shrunk yourself just to fit in? That's the fatal mistake, giving away your power. When you value others' opinions more than your inner voice, you're selling your destiny for crumbs of approval. The successful man doesn't need permission to move forward. He doesn't ask for authorization to live his purpose. And neither should you. Because one thing you must understand now is this: the world is full of people who want to see you stay the same. Because if you grow, you make them uncomfortable. If you improve, you confront them. If you shine, you force them to look at their own shadows. But you're not here to live small. You're here to build yourself big. And that starts the moment you decide to stop being a victim. Because yes, it's more comfortable to blame the system, the past, the circumstances. But nothing truly changes until you take full responsibility. Nothing and no one can stop the man who has decided to move forward, even when everything is against him. Do you know what makes him unstoppable? His conviction. His inner fire. That drive that doesn't come from ego, but from soul. Because it's not about proving anything to others, but honoring what you know you are inside, even if you don't see it on the outside yet. The text is clear. A man's true power lies in his self-mastery, in his ability to govern himself, to stay the course even when the wind blows against him, to not give in to criticism, fear, or rejection, because they will tell you you can't. They'll tell you you're not enough, that your dream isn't realistic. But listen carefully, they're not talking about you. They're talking about themselves, about their fears, their limits, their unhealed wounds. And you don't have to carry that. Only the one who frees himself from others' judgment can walk firmly toward his greatness. And that's not arrogance. It's confidence. It's alignment. It's self-respect. Because you know what you've lived through. You know what you've overcome. You know what you're building in silence, when no one is watching. So stop begging for validation. Stop waiting for applause. Stop looking outside for what only you can give yourself. The successful man often walks alone, but he never betrays himself. And that makes him dangerous. Because he doesn't bend, doesn't mold himself to what doesn't align with his vision. And that kind of man, the world respects. Maybe at first they criticize him, call him crazy, egotistical, stubborn. But in time, his firmness prevails. His authenticity draws others. His presence transforms. And that man could be you, if you stop doubting yourself. Success isn't inherited, it's conquered. And it all begins when you choose not to give up, even when no one believes in you. So look at yourself today, right where you are. Maybe afraid, full of doubts, with scars. But still standing. Still hungry. Still burning. That's all you need. The world doesn't need another nice, obedient, submissive man. The world needs awakened men. Free, brave. Men who know who they are and don't apologize for it. And you have everything it takes to be one of them. So from today on, remember. Chapter 3. You are not here to survive. You are here to conquer. Mediocrity is the comfort zone of those who have forgotten they came to conquer. Look around you. How many people are merely existing? They live by inertia, wake up out of routine, work out of obligation, and dream, if they still dare to. They've put out the fire. They've lowered their arms. And the worst part, they believe that's normal. But you weren't born for that. The successful man never settles for survival. He came to dominate, to conquer, to leave a legacy. And that drive is not arrogance, it's an inner calling. It's not vanity, it's purpose. The universe didn't give you talent, energy, and vision so you'd end up trapped in a gray life. It gave them to you so you'd transform your surroundings, lead by example, and inspire with your results. But that doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you decide, once and for all, that it's time to stop living beneath your potential. Success is not a privilege of the few. It's the natural right of those who dare to demand more from themselves. And it starts with you, with your discipline, with your mindset, with your endurance when everything hurts, with your hunger when everything is scarce, with your vision when everything seems uncertain. The great difference between a man who triumphs and one who merely survives isn't talent, or luck, or connections. It's the fire within. The ability to keep going when everyone else has already given up. Because yes, there will be obstacles. There will be criticism. There will be dark moments. But a man who has decided to win doesn't stop. Because he doesn't walk by emotion, he walks by conviction. It doesn't matter how many times he falls. He rises one more. Because his mission is bigger than his pain. And that changes everything. Because pain stops being a punishment and becomes training. Every wound, every stumble, every failure, they are all part of the design. You're not being destroyed. You're being forged. But be careful. Comfort is treacherous. It whispers, "You're fine like this." It deceives. "Don't push so hard." It numbs. "That dream isn't that important." And if you believe it, it puts your soul to sleep. The world is full of talents buried under excuses. Dreams paralyzed by fear. Men who could have changed everything, but settled for less. You can't afford that. The man who survives adapts to the world. The one who conquers transforms it. And you have that raw strength within. Not to live in chains, but to break structures. Not to ask permission, but to take what's yours. Not to wait for the perfect moment, but to create it with your own hands. But you have to decide. Not halfway. Not tomorrow. Not if everything aligns. Decide now. Because life won't wait for you to feel ready. Opportunity doesn't knock twice. Time doesn't stop. And the clock is ticking, with or without you. So look at yourself in the mirror. Ask yourself if you're living like a survivor, or like a conqueror. Because the difference lies in how you act each day. Do you wake up with purpose or with laziness? Do you train your mind or fill it with garbage? Do you chase your goals or just repeat excuses? Are you advancing or just enduring? Only you can answer that. And only you can change it. This isn't a pretty message. It's an urgent call. Because if you don't wake up, no one will do it for you. If you don't fight for your destiny, no one will defend it. And if you don't decide to be a triumphant man, you'll be just another who passed through life without leaving a mark. So decide. Act. Rise. And remember, you're not here to survive. You're here to conquer. Chapter 4. Courage is forged in adversity. Ordinary men pray for the storm to pass. The triumphant man becomes the storm. It's easy to have faith when everything flows. It's easy to smile when results come. It's easy to talk about dreams when the road is smooth. But true character isn't forged there. Character is born in adversity. When the ground shakes, when no one believes in you, when doors close one after another. That is the moment when the weak break, and the victors awaken. Every challenge is a disguised opportunity. Every blow is a test to see if you're made for this, or if you only want it when it's easy. Many people talk about success, but few are willing to pay the price. Because this path is not for the comfortable. It's not for the lukewarm. It's for those who have fire in their soul. For those who rise up bleeding, eyes locked in, knowing they're not done yet. It's not about seeking suffering. It's about understanding that trials are part of the process. No great work, no brilliant mind, no real conquest emerged from calm. Storms shape the warrior. Crises bring out the true self. What hurts you today will be your strength tomorrow. While others run from conflict, the triumphant man faces it with honor. Because he knows there is no elevation without friction. No evolution without tension. Character is not inherited. Courage can't be bought. Determination isn't taught through words. It's cultivated when you're alone, with no backup, everything against you. And yet, you take one more step. When you see no way out, but keep going because you know destiny doesn't belong to those who doubt, it belongs to those who endure. Greatness isn't about avoiding the fall. It's about rising with more strength every time the world tries to bring you to your knees. Remember this. No one can make you invincible from the outside. That power can only be born from within. When life hits you, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Because the triumphant man doesn't play the victim. He turns tragedy into fuel, pain into energy, loss into vision. And when others cry over what they've lost, he builds with what's left. That mindset changes everything. Because while others give up for fear of suffering, he embraces it as part of his formation. He knows that every scar is a medal, every obstacle, a step upward, every dark night, training for his light. True courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite fear. And you have that power inside. Even if they denied it to you, even if they made you feel insufficient, even if the world told you it's not your time, don't listen to those voices. They are the echoes of those who gave up. And you're not here to follow in their footsteps. You're here to break the mold, to be the example, to prove that triumph isn't a gift, it's a conquest. And conquest isn't achieved with comfort. It's achieved with courage. Courage to decide firmly. Courage to endure when everyone else backs down. Courage to keep believing when everything seems lost. The triumphant man doesn't avoid the fire. He walks through it until he becomes stronger than steel. So the next time life challenges you, smile. Not because it's easy, but because you know that's where you're being forged. Every fall trains you. Every rejection sharpens you. Every failure polishes you. You're not a victim of circumstances. You are the product of your decisions. And if you decide, with all your being, that nothing will stop you, then the universe will have no choice but to make way. Because courage, that breaks limits, that courage that lifts you when others collapse, that courage that turns ordinary men into giants, that courage already lives in you. Chapter 5. The will that breaks the impossible. What separates the ordinary man from the successful one is not talent, luck, or resources. It is willpower. Willpower is invisible, yet unstoppable. It is silent, yet it is felt. It makes no noise, yet leaves a mark. It is that quiet fire that burns when everything else seems extinguished. It is the force that pushes when your legs tremble, when your mind doubts, when the world says, it can't be done. The common man gives up at the first obstacle. The successful man turns obstacles into part of the path. When you say, I will do this, regardless of the cost, the time, or the pain, you activate a force that moves mountains. True willpower doesn't ask if it's possible. It makes it possible. It doesn't wait for others' approval. It only needs the approval of your soul. Because when something is born from the deepest part of your being, neither failure, nor rejection, nor delay can stop it. The problem for many is not lack of ability. It's lack of internal decision. They never committed 100%. They never burned the boats. They never said, I will achieve this, or I will die trying. And that's why they live lukewarm, unfinished, always on pause. The successful man understands that willpower is non-negotiable. It is exercised. It is honored. It is protected. Because willpower is your rudder in the middle of chaos. It's what keeps you steady when life changes the plan. It's what lets you move forward with clarity when everything is foggy. Many have desires. Few have willpower. Desires come and go. Willpower stays even when there is no motivation, when there is no energy, when there are no results. And that is where legends are forged. It's not about whether you feel like it. It's about whether you have decided. When you become a decisive person, the impossible begins to surrender. Doors open. The right people appear. Ideas flow. Because the entire universe responds to the one who acts with unbreakable will. The successful man doesn't improvise his destiny. He designs it with determination. He knows that everything worth achieving requires a willpower greater than average. That's why he trains. That's why he demands more from himself. That's why he does what others avoid. Because he has chosen to live with purpose, not with excuses. The power of will is stronger than any dormant talent. Because talent without discipline is smoke. But willpower with consistency is dynamite. And that dynamite is inside you. Maybe it's been buried for years under doubts, fears, or disappointments. But it's still there, waiting to be ignited. And when you do, you'll realize that you don't need to be perfect, or have it all figured out, or have anyone believe in you. You just need a will that doesn't give up. A will that says, today, even if I don't feel like it, even if I'm tired, even if I'm afraid, I keep going. Because in that moment, you transform. You are no longer the one waiting for things to change. You are the one who changes them. You no longer ask for permission. You create possibilities. You no longer seek guarantees. You become the guarantee. And the world, which once seemed unbreakable, begins to adapt to you. Because there is nothing more powerful than a decided mind and an active will. Every successful person you admire, every story that inspires you, every achievement you find admirable, behind all of that, there is no magic. There is will. Will to wake up early. Will to keep learning. Will to say yes when your body wants to say no. And that is not inherited. It is cultivated. Cultivate it. Starting today. From now. From this very decision you are making while listening to these words. Because true power is not in what you hear. It's in what you do after hearing it. So if there's a dream inside you, if there's a vision that keeps you awake, if there's a fire still burning, even in ashes, decide, commit, activate your willpower. Because when you do, what once seemed impossible will bow before you. Chapter 6. The power of an indestructible vision. A man without vision is like a ship without a rudder, at the mercy of the wind, the sea, of chance, but never of himself. A clear vision is not just a pretty image of the future. It is a magnet that pulls you forward. It is the hidden engine behind every effort. It is the inner voice that says, keep going, when everything around you screams, stop. The successful man does not live improvising. He doesn't walk in circles. He doesn't get scattered by distractions. He has a defined vision, burning like a torch within. That vision wasn't created by chance. It was born from his soul, from his deepest desires, from his commitment to something greater than comfort, fear, or external validation. Because when you know where you're going, every obstacle becomes part of the map. Every fall, a lesson. Every day, an investment. Vision transforms routine into purpose, fatigue into passion, delay into patience. Because you know everything counts. Everything adds up. Everything is preparing you. The man without vision only reacts. The man with vision designs. He doesn't wait for the world to tell him what to do. He tells the world who he has decided to be. And that changes everything. Because those with vision are not stopped by criticism, or mockery, or failure. They don't need immediate results to keep going. Because their vision is more real than any external circumstance. While others settle for surviving, the man with vision builds his legacy. While others waste years jumping from one idea to another, he goes deep on just one, until he masters it. Vision is what separates the builder from the spectator, the creator from the imitator, the successful from the conformist. But be warned, having vision is not daydreaming. It's not imagining castles in the air. It's committing to an inner image and living according to it, even when no one else sees it. Because vision doesn't need to be believed by others. It only needs to be lived by you. And when you do, when you act in alignment with what you visualize, the universe begins to move in your favor. Not immediately, not without challenges, but yes, inevitably. The most successful men in history were first considered crazy because they dared to see what others could not. Crazy for believing they could fly when everyone else walked. Crazy for imagining freedom when everyone accepted chains. Crazy for betting on their vision when everyone told them to give up. But they didn't quit. And today, we call them geniuses, pioneers, masters. The successful man doesn't fear being called crazy. He fears reaching the end of his life without having lived his vision. He fears settling. He fears forgetting who he could have become. And that's why he feeds his vision every day. With reading, with focus, with action, with faith. He doesn't let it wither. He doesn't hide it. He doesn't change it every week. He makes it so solid that, even in the middle of storms, it still shines. If you don't have a vision, the world will put you in its own. And chances are, it won't be for you to succeed. It'll be for you to work towards someone else's dreams. But if you dare to create your own vision and live for it, then you've taken the first real step toward freedom. Freedom of time. Freedom of purpose. Freedom to be yourself. And that, my friend, is priceless. So close your eyes and ask yourself, what am I really building? Am I aligned with what I want or distracted by what the world offers me? Remember, true success is not about having more. It's about being more. And to be more, you need a vision that demands growth, contribution, elevation. A clear vision ignites willpower, orders the chaos, and turns life into a masterpiece. So define yours. Write it. Visualize it. Act from it. Because the day your vision becomes stronger than your excuses, stronger than your doubts, stronger than your old habits, that day, everything begins to change. Chapter 7. Forge a character that never bends. Men are not defeated by the outside world, but by their own inner weakness. Character is not what you say when everything is going well. It's what you do when everything goes wrong. It's that invisible strength that keeps you standing when others collapse. It's the backbone of the great. And you're not born with it. It's forged. It's cultivated. It's hardened through blows. The true winner doesn't just have skills. He has character. Because while others sell out for comfort, he stays true to his vision. While others trade their values for approval, he walks firmly even if he walks alone. Character isn't seen in words. It's shown in actions. It's not about shouting louder. It's about enduring longer. It's not about pretending to be strong. It's having strength when no one is watching. Integrity, discipline, honesty, courage are not ornaments. They are foundations. And without those foundations, any success is fragile. Because you can build a fortune, but if you don't have character, sooner or later, everything will collapse. The successful man knows that his true worth is not in what he has, but in who he is. And that's why he invests every day in strengthening his character. He allows no excuses. He does not surrender to victimhood. He doesn't change direction just because the path gets hard. He stands firm like a rock, even if the sea screams at him to surrender. And that makes him a magnet for respect, trust, and opportunities. Because character can be felt. It inspires. It lifts others. It can't be faked. It can't be bought. It can only be built. And every choice, every habit, every decision either strengthens it or weakens it. When you choose discipline over laziness, you're forging character. When you choose silence over an impulsive reaction, you're forging character. When you choose to act even when you're afraid, you're forging character. And that character is what opens doors that talent alone cannot touch. Many want to move fast. Few want to build depth. But the successful man understands that speed without direction leads to disaster. And that's why he focuses first on being. Because he knows that lasting success can only be sustained on a solid character. The great fall many times, but they rise stronger because they haven't lost their core. They haven't lost their inner strength. They haven't surrendered to themselves. That is the true triumph. Not winning once, but being able to rise again, always. Character is the invisible armor that protects you from yourself. From your laziness. From your anger. From your envy. From your pride. And when you learn to master those inner forces, the outer world becomes more manageable. Because the worst thing you can face is not outside, it's inside. The weak man sabotages himself, lies to himself, betrays himself. The man with character corrects himself, demands of himself, transcends himself. And that makes all the difference. While others ask for easier paths, the man with character asks for stronger shoulders. Because he doesn't fear the challenge. He fears mediocrity. He fears looking back and knowing he gave in when he could have stood firm. Character is also humility. Not thinking less of yourself, but thinking less about yourself. Serving without seeking recognition. Doing the right thing even if no one applauds. The man who has forged character doesn't need to prove anything. He has already proven everything with his life. And that life becomes an example. Not just for him, but for those around him. Because character inspires without speaking, moves without shouting, conquers without dominating. So ask yourself, what are you choosing when no one is watching? What are you giving up to protect your comfort? Where are you letting your character weaken? Because every time you choose ease over what's right, you lose power. But every time you choose what's right, even if it hurts, you become unstoppable. The world needs more men with character. Men who won't sell out, won't bend, won't forget who they are. And you can be one of them. Start today. Resist a little longer. Stay true to what you know is right. And you'll see how your life begins to reflect that inner strength that already exists within you. Chapter 8. The Power of Persistence. Persistence is the small effort repeated day after day until it becomes a monumental success. It's easy to give up. It's tempting to quit when things get tough. But the successful man knows that the true difference between success and failure doesn't lie in skill or luck, but in persistence. Did you know that most people who quit didn't fail because they weren't capable? They failed because they weren't willing to keep going when things got hard. That's what makes the difference. The successful man doesn't stop. He moves forward. No matter how many times he falls, he always gets up. Successful people are not those who never fail, but those who never stop trying. Persistence is not just a virtue. It's a necessity. And if you don't cultivate it, you'll never reach your full potential. People who succeed are not those who avoid difficulties. They're the ones who have the inner strength to overcome them, again and again. Life isn't a straight line. It's a road full of ups and downs. And it's easy to look back, see those obstacles, those falls, and think the end is near. But the key lies in persistence. Keep going even when it seems there's no solution. Move forward when the temptation to give up is at every corner. Successful people look different because when everyone else stops trying, they continue. It's as if failure were just another word in their vocabulary. The only real failure is giving up. You have to understand that failure isn't what you think. Failing doesn't mean everything is lost. Failing means you've tried something new, that you've had courage, that you've been willing to learn. The great achievers know that all they need to do is keep going. Nothing more. Because persistence, over time, takes you to the top. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. The only difference between success and failure is persistence. Imagine this. The man who's about to achieve his goal sees a wall. Most people would stop. Most would say, "I can't go on, it's too hard." But the man who is persistent, who never gives up, sees the wall as an opportunity. Do you see the difference? Persistence makes you see every obstacle as a lesson, as a chance to improve. Persistence never tires, never loses hope. It just keeps going. Of course, this path is not easy. There will be moments when you'll wonder if it's worth it. There will be moments when you'll want to give up. But if you keep going, if you persist, the universe itself will begin to align to support you. Because success always rewards those who don't give up. Imagine that everything you want is on the other side of that obstacle. Would you give up before crossing it? Probably not. That's what persistence offers you. The push to keep going even when you can't see the end. And that push is what leads you to results that others will never achieve. Most people quit just when they're about to reach success. So, are you going to quit just when you're so close to making it? Don't do it. Persistence is the key that opens all closed doors. If you're persistent, eventually, the universe will have no choice but to give you what you've asked for. But that persistence must be unbreakable. It must be a daily decision, a commitment to yourself, a promise that no matter what happens, you'll keep going. The successful man doesn't give up. He doesn't get beaten by difficulties, or by the voices telling him he can't. And if he falls, he gets up. If he fails, he tries again. If people say he doesn't have what it takes, he proves them wrong. Success isn't measured by how fast you get there, but by how many times you get back up. Because the man who never gives up never sees himself as a failure. He sees himself as someone in the process of success. Someone who is going to make it. And who will do it, no matter how long it takes. Persistence turns the impossible into possible. The complicated into simple. The unreachable into reachable. So make yourself a promise today. You won't give up, no matter the cost. Because if you keep going, if you persist, success is inevitable. Chapter 9. Self-confidence is your hidden power. Believe in yourself, and the world will have no choice but to believe as well. Self-confidence is not arrogance. It is recognizing your inner worth, your latent potential, that divine spark that makes you capable of achieving extraordinary things. The successful man doesn't wait for others to validate him. He validates himself. He doesn't freeze at criticism or stop because of others' doubts. He walks firmly, because he has cultivated unshakable confidence. Every great achievement begins with a mind that refuses to accept failure as an option. And that mind is born from faith in oneself. Self-confidence is not a gift. It's a construction. It is forged every day, with decisions, with actions, with courage. It is looking within and saying, I can do this. And I will. Because when you trust yourself, you eliminate the greatest obstacle there is: fear. How many times have you stopped before starting, just because you thought you weren't enough? How many opportunities have you missed because you didn't believe you had what it takes? The average man doubts. The successful man acts. Doubt paralyzes. Confidence propels. If you want others to respect you, first respect yourself. And that begins by trusting your own judgment, your decisions, your dreams. Don't wait to feel ready. No one ever is completely. The difference between the one who makes it and the one who doesn't is that the former jumps in even while trembling. The latter waits for a certainty that never comes. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite it. The successful man understands that every step forward strengthens his spirit. Every challenge faced feeds his character. And every time he says yes to his abilities, the universe responds with open doors. You are only as strong as you believe you are. Self-confidence shapes your language, your posture, your energy. People feel it when you believe in yourself, and they react to it. You don't need to shout it. It's enough to radiate it. It's enough to walk through life knowing you deserve the best. Because you do. Because if you don't value yourself, no one else will. Most people live waiting for someone to give them permission to shine. But the one who triumphs doesn't wait for that permission. He gives it to himself. And with that, he changes everything. Every time you doubt yourself, you're sabotaging the success that's already on its way. You were not born to beg for opportunities. You were born to create them. And that begins from within. From that inner voice that affirms, I have what it takes. I am capable. Because when your mind believes, your actions align. And when your actions align, the world makes way. The great mistake is comparing yourself to others. Self-confidence doesn't come from measuring yourself against someone else's success, but from recognizing yourself as unique. No one else has your story, your essence, your exact combination of talents. And that already makes you powerful. Success is not a matter of luck, it's a matter of conviction. Think of great leaders, entrepreneurs, visionaries. Do you think they never doubted? Of course they did. But they never let that doubt stop them. They pushed it deep down and carried on. Because their confidence was stronger than their fear. And that confidence is trained. Every day, every decision, every small step outside the comfort zone. Every time you say yes when you used to say no. Every time you choose to move forward instead of hiding. That's where confidence is born and grows. Self-confidence is not a destination. It's a daily practice. Repeat to yourself, I am enough. I have what it takes. I deserve the best. And act accordingly. Not from ego, but from courage. The courage to be who you are, with authenticity, with strength, with purpose. The successful man sees himself as his best investment. He knows that if he cultivates his mind, his soul, and his character, no obstacle will be able to stop him. Because confidence becomes a shield, a motor, a compass. And while others wear themselves out seeking external approval, he strengthens himself from within. Believe in yourself so deeply that doubt feels uncomfortable in your presence. That's how you walk towards success. With firm steps, with your head held high, with the certainty that every challenge is an opportunity, with the conviction that triumph begins within. And you already have inside you everything you need to reach it. Chapter 10. Master the power of enthusiasm. Nothing great has ever been achieved without enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is not a luxury. It is an essential tool for conquering life. It is that invisible spark that turns the ordinary into extraordinary. The successful man doesn't act out of routine or obligation, but with a burning passion that is felt, that is contagious, that drives him to go beyond what's expected. Enthusiasm is directed energy. It is passion turned into action. It's not about always being cheerful or euphoric, but about living with such powerful conviction that everything you do vibrates with purpose. When you're enthusiastic, your words carry more weight, your steps have more direction, and your days more meaning. The difference between an exhausting job and an inspiring mission is the enthusiasm with which you do it. Many live their lives on autopilot. They wake up, comply, survive. But the man who wants to succeed wakes up with fire in his soul. Not because everything is solved, but because he has chosen to see each day as an opportunity. An opportunity to advance, to grow, to conquer. Enthusiasm doesn't depend on circumstances. It depends on your inner decision. You can face problems, stumbles, injustices, and still keep that flame alive. Because enthusiasm is an attitude. And you choose each day how you're going to face it. Where there is enthusiasm, there is possibility. The enthusiast sees solutions where others see walls. He sees doors where others see dead ends. He sees a new attempt where others have already given up. Enthusiasm multiplies your energy, your creativity, and your perseverance. It's not just about feeling it. It's about expressing it. Speaking with passion, moving with determination, acting as if your life depended on it. Because in a way, it does. The most successful people aren't always the smartest, but almost always the most passionate. Think of someone who deeply inspired you. Was it their knowledge that captivated you? Or their energy? Their way of believing so strongly in what they said? Enthusiasm opens doors that talent alone cannot. Because the world responds to the vibration with which you show up. Speak with enthusiasm. Walk with enthusiasm. Sell with enthusiasm. Love with enthusiasm. Make your life an expression of that vital energy that transforms everything. And if today you don't feel it, then find it. Because it's within you. It just needs to be awakened. Passion is not something you find. It's something you cultivate. Do things that fulfill you. Surround yourself with people who ignite your fire, not extinguish it. Listen to ideas that uplift you. Read words that push you toward your best version. And above all, act. Action fuels enthusiasm. Inertia kills it. Don't wait to feel motivated to start. Start, and motivation will come along the way. Because movement creates energy. And the more you move toward your goals, the more enthusiasm grows within you. Do everything as if your success depended on that moment. Because, in fact, it does. Every moment you act with enthusiasm, you are creating invisible opportunities. You are leaving a mark. You are showing the world, and yourself, that you are ready for greatness. The successful man understands that enthusiasm is magnetism. It is what attracts the right allies, brilliant ideas, favorable circumstances. People want to work with those who radiate energy. Clients want to buy from those who believe in what they offer. The universe responds with abundance to those who express themselves with enthusiasm. It's not what you have to do that matters. It's how you do it. From the smallest task to the most ambitious project, do it with intensity. Not as an obligation, but as an affirmation of who you are. Every action is a declaration of your commitment to life. And if you ever feel burned out, remember why you started. Go back to the origin, to the dream, to that vision that made you feel alive. Because there, in that memory, is the spark that can ignite you again. Passion is contagious. When you believe strongly, others start to believe too. That is leadership. That is real influence. And that is the spirit of the successful man. Not one who merely does, but one who inspires. Because his enthusiasm isn't just his, it becomes fuel for others. So light that flame. Make your life a blazing expression of your deepest convictions. And remember, enthusiasm not only moves you forward, it makes you unstoppable. Chapter 11. Become indispensable. Don't strive to be someone ordinary. Become someone who cannot be replaced. The successful man does not compete for attention. He does not beg for opportunities. He doesn't wait to be chosen. He becomes a necessity, a presence whose absence is felt. It doesn't matter the environment, the job, or the industry. Those who become indispensable are never ignored. How is this achieved? It's not a matter of degrees. It's not about luck. It's a formula built with character, with excellence, with results that speak for themselves. Do more than you're asked, give more than they expect, and soon you'll be in a league no one can reach. Most people do the minimum. They fulfill. But achievers go further. They anticipate. They solve. They add value. And that places them above average. Because excellence is a daily decision, not an occasional result. Look around you. Who is truly indispensable? Who leaves such a deep mark that their absence creates a void? Be that person. Not out of ego, but out of purpose. When you become indispensable, you no longer chase opportunities. Opportunities chase you. Your work, however simple it may seem, can become a masterpiece if you decide to make it so. The value you bring doesn't depend on your title. It depends on how you execute it. It depends on your attitude, your level of commitment, your ability to raise the standard. The ordinary becomes extraordinary when done with greatness. Don't complain about your environment. Don't wait for a promotion to shine. Start where you are. Transform that space with your presence. Do it so well that the world cannot ignore you. Being valuable is more powerful than being visible. Many seek attention, noise, applause. But true power lies in delivering real value. Quiet, firm, unquestionable. The kind of value that builds reputation, that leaves impact, that transcends. That's the secret of the successful man. He's not just present, he's essential. The key lies in developing qualities the world desperately needs. Discipline, when others give up. Clarity, when confusion reigns. Results, when excuses abound. Integrity, when pressure tempts you to break. These qualities never go out of style. They don't depend on technology. They are universal. And those who possess them will always be sought after. Success doesn't go to the loudest, but to the one who solves the most problems. Want to become indispensable? Become a problem solver. The one who sees chaos and brings order. The one who faces challenges and responds with action. The one who doesn't complain, he acts. The one who doesn't wait, he gets ahead. The one who doesn't depend on conditions, because he becomes the condition for change. And here is the most important secret. The one who becomes indispensable to others will never have to worry about their place in the world. Because someone will always need him. There will always be a door that opens. There will always be a space reserved for the one who delivers value with excellence. Successful men don't seek security. They create it. Be so reliable that others rest on your word. So accurate that your decisions set the direction. So committed that you inspire just by acting. That kind of presence is magnetic. It is imposing. And it's not improvised. It's built day after day. Mediocrity complains about the recognition it doesn't get. Excellence keeps going even when it's not seen. Don't work for approval. Work for impact. Because when the impact is real, the world responds. And when you become the impact, you decide the course of your destiny. Become indispensable in your workplace, but also in your family, in your circle, in your community. Let your presence represent solutions, leadership, hope. And wherever you are, let things change for the better. There's no magic, only decision, discipline, determination, and a clear vision to become someone so valuable that success has no choice but to find you. Chapter 12. The Power of Initiative. Those who wait for things to happen end up working for those who make things happen. The successful man doesn't need orders to move. He doesn't need permission to think or instructions to act. He observes, detects opportunities, and gets ahead. Because he knows success doesn't reward the obedient. It rewards the one who takes initiative. Want to stand out in a world saturated with mediocrity? Stop waiting for instructions. Act, start, solve. Make things happen without being asked. Initiative is not a talent. It's an attitude. A way of seeing life with responsibility, with proactivity, with hunger for progress. The one with initiative is never still. He's always creating movement. Every time you act without being told, you're building your path to leadership. Most people do the bare minimum. The fair, the basic, the safe. But those with initiative do what's missing. They do what others don't see. They do what makes a difference. Those with initiative don't wait for the environment to improve. They improve the environment. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They act with what they have and turn it into gold. If you see a need, fill it. If you see a problem, solve it. If you see an opportunity, take it. That's the mindset of the achiever. Where others see obstacles, he sees doors. Where others hesitate, he takes the first step. And that's why, while others are still thinking, he's already 2 steps ahead. Initiative is not only valued, it gets rewarded. Because the world belongs to the creators, not the waiters. And when you're the one proposing, taking the first step, initiating, you become the architect of your own destiny. Ideas are worth little if they don't turn into action. How many dreams die because no one executes them? How many opportunities are lost because someone said, "I'll do it later"? Initiative is not just thinking, it's doing. It's turning thought into movement, and movement into results. Each time you act, you're training your mind not to depend, not to need a push, not to wait for the perfect moment, because you create it. Don't ask what's needed, propose a solution. The average man wants to be told what to do. The successful man arrives with proposals, with plans, with alternatives. He doesn't say, "What should I do now?" He says, "Here's what I propose, and I'm already working on it." That's the difference between those who move forward and those who wait for the green light. Initiative generates trust, respect, influence, and above all, personal power. Because the one who acts first sets the pace of the game. And the one who sets the pace controls the board. Life rewards those who don't hide behind excuses, but who show up with solutions. When you take initiative, you become indispensable. Because your attitude says, "You can count on me." Your energy says, "I don't wait, I act." And that is what the world needs now more than ever. Look at any successful person and you'll see a pattern. They don't wait for the perfect opportunity. They create it. They don't need external motivation. They push themselves from within. And they're not afraid to make mistakes, because they know the worst mistake is inaction. The one who has initiative may make mistakes, but he will never be invisible. Mediocre people hide in passivity to avoid risk. But in that comfort, they also give up greatness. You, on the other hand, are here to stand out, to lead, to spark change. And that is only achieved by acting with intention, with courage, with initiative. You don't need to know everything. You only need to decide, move, try, adjust, and keep going. Because the path only opens when you walk it. Chapter 13. The duty to surpass yourself. You did not come to this life to stay where you are, but to rise above yourself again and again. That is the true duty of the successful man, to constantly surpass himself. Not to compete with others, but to leave behind earlier versions of himself. Because those who do not grow, wither. And those who do not challenge themselves, stagnate. There is something powerful in the mind that seeks progress. A divine spark that does not extinguish, unless man ignores it. And when he does, he falls into the trap of comfort, repetition, and conformity. But you are not here to live a common life. You are here to become the best you can be. The soul of man cries out for expansion, for expression, for evolution. And every time you answer that call with action, study, work, you are honoring yourself. You are drawing closer to your purpose. You are fulfilling your noblest duty, to be more capable, wiser, and stronger than yesterday. Greatness is not inherited, it is built. And it is not built in a day, nor by accident. It rises with the daily decision not to settle, with the will to break mental limits and mediocre habits. Self-improvement is a duty to your potential, not an option for the days you feel motivated. If you wait to feel ready, you will never start. If you wait for perfect conditions, you will waste valuable years. The successful man does not wait. He jumps in, adjusts, and keeps going. Because he understands that failure is also part of progress. Every mistake he owns, every difficulty he faces, every night he works while others sleep, turns him into someone who cannot be stopped by anything or anyone. The greatest success is not achieving something external, but bringing out the best in yourself. And that doesn't happen by luck. It happens with discipline, with constant self-assessment, with hunger to grow. How do you talk to yourself each night? Can you say, "Today I took a step toward my best version"? If the answer is yes, you are fulfilling your duty. If not, you need to remember why you started. Life was given to you with the expectation that you would do something great with it. You have talents you haven't used yet, ideas you haven't executed, strengths you will only discover when you push beyond your comfort zone. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. It will be demanding. The muscles of your soul will ache. But you will also start to feel invincible. Because there is no greater power than looking in the mirror and knowing, "I am not the same as before. I am surpassing myself." True self-respect does not come from applause. It comes from fulfilling the inner commitment to rise each day, from studying while others sleep, from practicing while others rest, from persisting when others give up. You are your own battlefield, and each day is a new opportunity to conquer your weakness. You don't need to do everything today, but you do need to do something that gets you closer to your next level. A decision, an improvement, an effort, because power lies not in the grand, but in the consistent. Self-improvement is a debt you owe to the future you dream of, and every time you pay it with effort, you are building inner wealth. Self-esteem. Self-respect. Personal authority. The world respects those who respect themselves enough not to settle for less. And that respect is earned. It is not demanded. It is not faked. It is cultivated in silence, in the work no one sees, in the discipline no one applauds. And one day, when you look back, you will see the result. Not only in what you have achieved, but in who you have become. Chapter 14. The Mastery of Will. A desire without will is just a pretty illusion. Many want to improve. Many dream of changing their lives. But few are willing to develop the most powerful force the human being possesses. Willpower. Will is the muscle of the soul. It is the voice that says, "I will keep going," when everything else says, "Stop." It is the difference between those who only plan and those who execute, between those who wish and those who conquer. Without will, talent is wasted, intelligence goes dormant, and dreams collapse. Have you seen people with enormous abilities who never get far? It's not for lack of potential. It's for lack of will. Because will is what makes decisions when enthusiasm is gone. It's what brings order when emotions want to take over. It's what stands firm while others give up. The successful man cultivates his will like a warrior sharpens his sword. Because he knows it will be tested. He knows there will be temptations, distractions, fatigue. And even so, he does not give in. Will turns you into a creator. It takes you out of the victim role and gives you the role of architect of your destiny. Many say, "I can't." But in reality, what they lack is the will to try. It's not about having time, resources, or external support. It's about having an inner decision so firm that no excuse can stop you. Will is mental resistance. It is emotional consistency. It is commitment to what you said you would do, even when you no longer feel like it. The truly free man is the one who governs his will, not the one who follows his impulses, not the one who lets himself be carried by comfort, but the one who has the strength to say, "This is what I must do, and I will do it." Because he knows that what is easy today will cost dearly tomorrow. But what is hard today becomes freedom tomorrow. Mastering your will is like training an invisible muscle. At first it hurts. It's hard. You fail. But every time you choose to do what is right instead of what is easy, you are strengthening it. Every time you choose to keep going even without immediate results, you are building a base of personal power that nothing and no one can bring down. There is no obstacle greater than a weak will, and no summit unreachable for a firm will. Think of the great men and women of history. What did they have in common? Determination. They didn't always have support, wealth, or education, but they had an unbreakable will. And that was enough to move mountains. The successful man does not wait to feel inspired. He disciplines himself. Because he understands that true power does not come from emotions, but from decision. And that decision is upheld by will, not by fleeting motivation. If you master your will, you can master any area of your life. Your finances, your health, your relationships, your inner growth. Everything changes when you decide to take control and stop making excuses. Do you want more energy? It requires will. Do you want to start that project? It requires will. Do you want to quit a bad habit? It requires will. And here's the good news. Will can be trained. It is not a gift, it is a practice. Every day you have the opportunity to strengthen it or weaken it. With every decision, with every word, with every action. And when your will becomes stronger than your excuses, your life changes forever. That's where self-respect appears. That's where personal power manifests. That's where true success begins. Because there is no glory without discipline, no transformation without effort, and no triumph without a will of iron. Remember this. Every time you do what you must, even if you don't feel like it, you are building your freedom. You are sculpting your character. You are training your mind to win. And that is the path of the successful man. Chapter 15. Master your energy. master your life. Energy is not just physical vitality. It is the fuel of your mind, your will, and your character. There are men with talent, with brilliant ideas, with clear vision, but without enough energy to sustain it. And that lack of energy keeps them stuck, overwhelmed, or unmotivated. Not because they lack ability, but because they don't know how to manage their inner strength. The successful man understands this. Your energy is your invisible capital. It is the resource you need to create, lead, decide, and move forward. And if you waste it on the trivial, the toxic, or the unnecessary, you won't have enough left to build your greatness. Where you put your attention, you put your energy. And where you put your energy, there your life either blooms or withers. Many people live exhausted, not from overwork, but from over-distraction. They jump from problem to problem, from news to news, from complaint to complaint, and then wonder why they're not making progress. They are energetically bankrupt, and they don't realize that their future depends on how they use their life force each day. The man who wants to succeed must learn to protect his energy like a treasure. That means taking care of his body, but also his mind, his environment, and his thoughts. Your energy increases when you are aligned with a clear purpose. When you know why you do what you do, you wake up with strength. When you have an inspiring vision, you expand. It's not about avoiding effort, but about channeling it intelligently. About focusing on what nourishes you, not what drains you. The man who works without purpose tires quickly. The one who has a cause finds strength even when he's tired. Every decision you make either increases or decreases your energy. Sleeping well, eating with intention, surrounding yourself with people who lift you up, speaking to yourself with respect, choosing thoughts of power. All of that charges your energy like a battery, and that energy translates into action, focus, and results. But every time you give in to what's easy, every time you engage in pointless conflict, destructive habits, or negative thoughts, you lose part of your momentum. You can't be a giant on the outside if you're weak on the inside. Many want success, but live in chaos. Disorganized, exposed to distractions, dominated by stress. That's not how anything lasting is built. The successful man cultivates his energy as a sacred resource. He doesn't allow just anyone to steal his peace. He avoids stimuli that unbalance him. And he doesn't negotiate with habits that weaken him. Self-control is the discipline of protecting your energy. It's saying no when you want to say yes. It's cutting off what harms you, even if you like it. It's choosing what strengthens you over what merely entertains you. Because you know that every moment spent on something that doesn't add to you is time and strength not invested in what builds you. And that's the law of growth. Where your energy goes, your life goes. Are you investing in what you want to build? Or are you giving your energy away to what doesn't serve you? Do a cleanup of environments, people, thoughts, and you'll see your energy return. Your clarity expand. Your inner fire reignite. Energy is not about momentary intensity. It's about consistency. It's not about running with excitement one day and disappearing for a week. It's about moving forward firmly, day after day, with renewed energy. It's about holding your vision with steady strength. Like a river that doesn't stop, even if it must dodge stones. And when you make that energy a priority, when you respect your body, your mind, and your focus, you become a magnetic man. Powerful, influential. Because energy is noticeable. It's felt. It's transmitted. And opportunities, allies, and results are drawn to someone who is energetically strong. Master your energy, and you will master your destiny. Chapter 16. The Secret of Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is the soul on fire of the successful man. It's the spark that turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. There are people who seem to have an inner light that never goes out. No matter what they do it with life, with fire, with contagious joy. And it's not that their path is easier. It's that they've learned the secret of enthusiasm. Because enthusiasm is not a passing emotion. It's not simply being in a good mood. It's an inner force that drives a man to act with power, with confidence, with intensity. It's the invisible engine of great achievements. The man who acts with enthusiasm turns any task into a step toward success. The one who lacks it turns even the brightest opportunity into a burden. Nothing great has ever been achieved without enthusiasm. The world belongs to the passionate, to those who throw themselves heart-first into what they do, to those who radiate conviction, presence, determination. Because enthusiasm creates attraction. It opens doors. It inspires trust. And it activates the dormant potential in others. The successful man doesn't wait to have everything figured out to get enthusiastic. He chooses enthusiasm as an attitude toward life. Enthusiasm is not born from circumstances. It's born from your decision to vibrate high. Of course, there will be hard days. Of course, not everything is perfect. But the man who understands his mission doesn't let himself go dim. He knows that if he goes out inside, everything else loses shine. And that's why, every day, he lights up from within, with an idea, with a purpose, with a reason to move forward. Not because everything is easy, but because he knows what's worth it. Do it with enthusiasm or don't do it at all. That's the law of the greats. Because when you do something with enthusiasm, you give more. You are more. You shine more. And the world responds with opportunities, connections, and growth. But when you do it out of obligation, out of routine, without soul, it shows. And the result shows it too. Enthusiasm turns work into joy, and effort into growth. Many complain about being tired, but what exhausts them isn't the work. It's the lack of connection to what they do. The enthusiastic man can work twice as much, and feel more alive, stronger, more awake, because he is aligned with his passion. And if you still don't know what your passion is, put enthusiasm into what you have today. Do it better. Do it differently. Do it with love. And you'll see how that fire starts to grow from within. Enthusiasm is contagious. A leader with enthusiasm changes the atmosphere. A father with enthusiasm inspires his children. An entrepreneur with enthusiasm turns ideas into movement. Because enthusiasm is expanding energy. It is living force. And where there is enthusiasm, there is progress. Do you want to grow faster? Do you want to attract the right people? Do you want to stand out effortlessly? Then cultivate your enthusiasm. Don't wait for it. Create it. Protect it. Feed it. Enthusiasm is not a luxury. It's a necessity for success. Because without enthusiasm, vision fades. Steps slow down. The soul hardens. And the path loses meaning. But with enthusiasm, everything gains color. Ideas flow. Creativity awakens. Confidence rises. And that's what sets you apart. Not how many things you do, but how much energy you bring to them. Enthusiasm ignites when you remember your why. Why do you do what you do? What impact do you want to leave? What are you building beyond money, recognition, or results? Remember that every day and use it as fuel for your soul. Because when the why is powerful, the how takes care of itself, and enthusiasm becomes indestructible. The successful man is not the most talented, nor the luckiest. He is the one who dares to burn from within, and to light up the world with that flame. So decide today to ignite your fire. Decide to live with passion. Decide to move with purpose. Decide to radiate enthusiasm. And you'll see how the universe aligns with your light. Chapter 17. The value of moving forward. True greatness is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. On the path to success, there are moments of doubt, fatigue, and darkness. There are days when nothing seems to work, when every effort feels useless, when your mind whispers that maybe you should give up. But it's precisely there, at that critical point, where dreamers are separated from doers. Those who wish from those who decide. Those who wait from those who act with unwavering faith. The secret of triumph lies in the ability to go on, even when everything seems against you. The successful man does not move forward because the path is easy. He moves forward despite the obstacles. He moves forward with wounds, with doubts, with fears. But he moves forward because he understands something few people do. The value lies in persisting when the world doesn't applaud you, when no one sees your effort, when only you know how much you're giving for that dream. Every step you take when no one is watching is a promise you make to yourself. And those promises are worth more than 1,000 recognitions. They are the invisible bricks that build your character, your discipline, your true power. Most people quit when things get hard. They look for shortcuts, excuses, justifications. But the man who keeps going, no matter how slowly, is already winning. Because he has defeated the greatest enemy, the temptation to quit. There is no force more powerful than a soul determined to continue. And that's what the world needs. Determined souls. Not perfect ones. Not invincible ones. But people who, even with fear, keep walking. Because when you don't stop, something magical happens. Life starts to open paths. The energy shifts. Opportunities emerge. Results appear. Moving forward is not stubbornness. It is faith. Faith that every effort counts. Faith that every pain has purpose. Faith that you are being shaped for something greater. Gold doesn't shine at first. It must go through fire, through pressure, through transformation. And so is the soul of a successful man. The more intense the process, the stronger the outcome. The closer you are to success, the tougher the trials will feel. Right before reaching the summit, the climb is steeper. Right before dawn, the night is darkest. Right before changing your life, doubts scream louder. But if in that moment you choose to keep going, if instead of stopping, you take one more step, you are no longer the same. You've proven that you deserve victory. Because victory is not a gift. It is a conquest. And it's granted only to those who never give up. Life tests the brave to elevate them. So when everything tells you to stop, remember why you started. Remember where you're going. Remember who you want to become. And above all, remember that if you can take one step today, even if it's just a small one, you're already winning the most important battle, the one of your character. It doesn't matter how long it takes. The only thing that matters is that you don't stop. Even if you walk slowly. Even if there are days when you can only crawl. What matters is that you keep going. Because every steady step creates momentum. And that momentum becomes strength. And that strength becomes drive. And that drive leads you directly to your destiny. Success is for those who have the will to rise one more time. Not because it's easy. Not because it's guaranteed, but because there is a flame inside them that never goes out. And if that flame lives in you, if you are willing to go on, even when no one sees you, even when everything feels uphill, then you are already closer than you think. Never underestimate the power of moving forward. Never underestimate what one more day of effort can achieve. Never underestimate what happens when you refuse to quit. The successful man is not measured by the applause he receives, but by the steps he takes when only silence accompanies him. And you, if you keep walking, if you stay strong, if you rise once more, you will be unstoppable. Chapter 18. Master the art of believing in yourself. Nothing is more powerful than a mind convinced of its own worth. Everything you achieve in life starts in one place, inside you. Before conquering external goals, you must conquer your internal beliefs. And the most important of all is this: believe that you are capable. It doesn't matter how much talent you have, nor how many books you read, nor how much motivation surrounds you. If you don't believe in yourself, everything falls apart. Belief in oneself is the root of all powerful action. The successful man does not wait for the world to tell him he can. He tells himself first. He looks in the mirror each morning and reaffirms his purpose, his ability, his vision, because he has understood a great truth. The world won't give you permission to shine. You must take it. Every time you doubt yourself, you give away your power. And when you give away your power, you make yourself small. You hide. You sabotage yourself. How many times have you held back for fear of what others might say? How many times have you given up on a dream because you felt you weren't enough? That voice that says you can't, that's not you. It's an echo from the past, from inherited insecurities, from limiting beliefs someone planted in you without your permission. But today you have the opportunity to break free from that. To tell yourself, yes, I am capable. Yes, I do deserve it. Yes, I can achieve it. You don't need proof to believe. Believing is what leads you to create the proof. First you believe, then you see. That is the principle successful people master. And that's why they achieve what others only dream about. When you believe, the world begins to open up before you. Opportunities appear. The right people arrive. Energy changes. Reality adjusts to your conviction. Not because life is magical, but because you started acting with an inner force that transforms everything. Think of the great ones you admire. Those who changed the world. Those who made history. They weren't different from you. They weren't born under a special star. They just believed in themselves more than others doubted. And because of that, the universe surrendered to their faith. The first great act of freedom is deciding what you will believe in. And if you choose to believe in your dreams, in your talents, in your right to live a great life, then nothing and no one will be able to stop you. Of course, there will be moments of doubt. Everyone has them. But those who go far are the ones who, even in the middle of fear, choose to trust again, over and over. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's moving forward while still believing in spite of it. And that is the art you must master. The art of becoming your greatest ally, your own coach, your best source of strength. Talk to yourself like you would to someone you love. Motivate yourself. Push yourself. Remember your achievements. Visualize your goals. Make your mind a temple, not a prison. A space of expansion, not limitation. Because everything you imagine with faith becomes possible. Great men don't wait for external validation. They create it from within. And that internal validation becomes a magnet. It attracts opportunities. It awakens respect. It inspires confidence in others. But it all begins at the same point. Believing in yourself with an unshakable determination. When you believe in yourself, you stop begging for approval and start building empires. And you are here for that. Not to fit in. Not to hide. Not to be another copy. But to stand out. To shine. To give your full potential to the world. Start today. Start now. Look at yourself with new eyes. Claim your greatness. Feel the power that lives within you. And repeat this truth every day. I can. I deserve it. I will achieve it. Not because it's easy, but because you are made for the extraordinary. And when you truly believe it, the entire universe aligns to prove it to you. Chapter 19. The Law of Persistence. Perseverance is the key that transforms the seed of a dream into the flower of success. Success is not achieved overnight. It doesn't matter how many times you hear stories of great achievers who seem to have made it effortlessly. What you don't see behind those stories is the silent work, the failures, and the falls they had to endure. The true key lies in never giving up. The successful man knows that success is a matter of persistence, of continuing despite obstacles, of getting up every time you fall, learning, improving. The one who persists wins. That is the principle of life. It's not talent that makes a person great, but their ability to persist when everyone else has given up. Every day is an opportunity to move forward, no matter how small the action. Great goals are not achieved in a single step, but in thousands of small, consistent steps. The magic lies in persistence, in daily dedication, in doing what many are not willing to do. How many times have you thought of giving up? How many times has fear paralyzed you, and you felt like you weren't moving forward? That's normal. But the key is to keep going, even when you see no immediate results. Persistence isn't just trying again and again. It's trying smartly. It's learning from mistakes, adjusting, and improving every time. It's having the courage to keep moving forward even when your strength seems exhausted. The man who never gives up is the one who eventually gets what he wants. When you face a challenge, your resistance to failure is what determines your success. It's easy to quit when things get hard. It's easy to let fear and frustration take over. But the real difference between failure and success is persistence. It's the power to say, "No, I will not give up. No, I will not stop, no matter what." Success stories aren't stories of luck. They are stories of perseverance. Of those who, even when everything seemed against them, decided to keep fighting. The path to success is not a straight road, it's a mountain full of ups and downs. Every fall, every mistake, is just one more lesson that brings you closer to the top. Remember, the only thing that separates you from most people who give up is your ability to keep going. Because there's something most don't know. Success is closer than it seems. You just have to keep going. Every time you face adversity, you have two options. Give up and accept that you can't. Persist and learn what it takes to improve and succeed. Each time you choose to persist, you move closer to your goal. Great victories are earned in the struggle, not in comfort. And here's the secret. Persistence doesn't come from external motivation. It's something that comes from within. From that unshakable belief that what you desire, you can achieve. That every obstacle is just an opportunity to grow and strengthen yourself. Persistence is what turns the impossible into the possible. The people who don't reach their dreams are those who give up too soon. Those who don't have the will to keep going when things get hard. But you're not like them. You are someone who knows that everything worthwhile requires effort, sacrifice, and above all, persistence. So, the next time you feel like you're on the verge of giving up, remember this truth. Dreams are only achieved if you have the courage to persist. What are you going to do? Will you keep fighting? Will you keep going even when your strength is failing? When you persist, everything becomes an opportunity. Every challenge is one more step toward your success. The successful man doesn't stop. He keeps going. He grows. And in the end, he's the one who reaps the fruits of his consistency. So make yourself a promise right now. You will not give up. Ever. Chapter 20. The Science of Persistence. The Unbreakable Path to Success. The true measure of the successful man is not how many times he falls, but how many times he gets back up. In this chapter, we're going to talk about the most important thing you need to understand if you want to succeed. Your ability to adapt and move forward despite difficulties. The successful man is not the one who never fails, but the one who knows how to get back up after a fall. Understand something very simple. We all face failures at some point in our lives. But we don't all respond the same way. The difference between those who achieve great things and those who don't lies in their reaction to failure. It's not failure that determines the future, but how you rise from it. The successful man doesn't see failures as something negative, but as part of the path to success. When you fall, it's simply a sign that you've tried something. And what happens when you try something? You gain the chance to learn. Every fall is just a lesson that brings you closer to your goal. Great achievers have never had easy lives, but they've understood that every obstacle makes them stronger. It is in the struggle, in the challenge, where our character is forged. Failure doesn't define your life, your response to it does. If you decide to give up, failure has defeated you. If you decide to get up, learn from the experience, and move forward, then that failure becomes one more step toward your success. Success isn't about avoiding failure, but about overcoming it. It's important to remember that the successful man does not give up easily. Instead of complaining, He looks at what he has learned and uses that information to improve. Failures are simply opportunities to recalibrate the course. Each time you fail, you have the chance to improve your strategy and grow as a person. Challenges are what shape our greatness. This is a fundamental principle the successful man always keeps in mind. Difficulties, challenges, and obstacles are the experiences that allow you to reach your fullest potential. If everything were easy, you wouldn't learn anything. If you didn't have to fight for what you want, you wouldn't understand the true value of your success. The people who succeed are not the ones who avoid difficulties, but the ones who overcome them with grace. What really matters is not how many times you fall, but what you do after you fall. The successful man doesn't focus on the pain of the fall, but on what he can learn from the experience. Instead of fearing difficulties, he sees them as opportunities to grow and strengthen his character. What breaks us is not the fall, but the inability to get back up. Your mindset is what determines whether you stay down or rise again. The man who sees himself as a winner knows that falls are only temporary moments, but getting up is what carries him to his final goal. This principle is one of the keys to success. It's not about what you do when things are going well, but what you do when things get tough. The successful man is not defined by his accomplishments when everything is easy, but by his ability to get back up after a blow, to move forward after a defeat. True success is measured by how many times you are able to rise. Always remember that the greater the fall, the greater the victory. Failures are not the end of the road, they're just signs that you're on the right path. If you never face difficulties, you'll never know what you're truly capable of. It's those hard moments that teach you the lessons that will help you achieve what you want. It's when everything seems lost that your true character is tested. The successful man understands that he is not alone in his struggles. Everyone's life is full of challenges, and those who have reached success did so precisely because they didn't give up. They saw obstacles as temporary, and every time they fell, they got up stronger. The only real failure is giving up. Every time you fall, you have two choices: stay on the ground or get up and keep moving. Choose the second option, because in that decision to rise lies the seed of your future success. Never forget that triumph is not in never falling, but in always knowing how to rise again. Chapter 21, Generosity as the Key to Triumph. What you give comes back multiplied. True greatness is measured by your ability to give without expecting anything in return. In this chapter, we'll delve into one of the most powerful aspects of a triumphant man's life: his generosity. Greatness is not about accumulating wealth, power, or influence, but about how willing you are to give. And giving doesn't only mean money. It's your time, your knowledge, your love, and your support. The triumphant man knows that the secret to a fulfilling and successful life lies in sharing with others. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that success is only about what one gets, but in reality, it's the opposite. The triumphant man understands that the true measure of success lies in what he can offer to others. How can you help others achieve their goals? How can you improve someone's life with what you know and who you are? These are the questions that should guide your life. What you give comes back multiplied. One of life's universal principles is that what you give returns to you, whether in the form of love, support, recognition, or even wealth. But this return is not what motivates the triumphant man. He gives because he understands that life is about contribution. The act of giving becomes a source of gratitude and personal growth. The true value of a man is not in what he owns, but in what he is willing to give. Generosity is not about expecting something in return. The triumphant man does not give to receive something, but because he understands that giving is a source of deep satisfaction. Every time you help another, whether with your resources, time, or advice, you enrich yourself in a far more meaningful way than simply accumulating for yourself. It is in the act of giving that true power and real wealth reside. Life is a cycle of giving and receiving. In the process of giving, you not only help others, but you also grow as a person. Generosity builds relationships, creates trust, and most importantly, makes you a source of inspiration to those around you. It is a reflection of your character, a sign that you are aware you're not alone in this world, and that true triumph belongs to those who know how to contribute to others' well-being. The greatest satisfaction comes when you contribute to others' happiness. The triumphant man does not seek success only for personal recognition, but for the impact it has on others. Every time you make a difference in someone's life, whether big or small, in some way you are advancing toward the fulfillment of your purpose. This purpose is not solely focused on yourself, but on how what you do affects those around you. When you help, teach, support, or simply share your time and energy, you are connecting with the true essence of life. Through generosity, you build a life full of purpose and meaning. When you focus on giving rather than receiving, you free yourself from the anxiety and selfishness that often accompany the pursuit of material success. The triumphant man knows that true success is not what you can see, but the impact you leave on others' hearts. That is what truly matters. To be generous does not mean giving what's left over, but giving what's needed. You don't need to be wealthy to be generous. Generosity is not about the amount you give, but about the genuine feeling of sharing. Whether it's a smile, advice, a bit of your time, or support during difficult moments, the triumphant man understands that anything you give can make a difference in someone else's world. And that difference, however small it may seem, has the power to create significant change. Moreover, generosity generates a sense of gratitude that further fuels your personal success. When you give, you not only help others, you help yourself, cultivating a mindset of abundance and prosperity. The greatest wealth is not the one you can see, but the one you feel within when you know you've made a difference in the world. In the end, the richest man is not the one who has the most, but the one who has given the most. This is the final message of this chapter. True wealth lies in what you can give. It's the gift you leave in the world, the mark you make in the lives of those you touch. The triumphant man is not the one who accumulates for himself, but the one who seeks how to share, how to help, and how to contribute to others' well-being. And in that process, he not only grows as a human being, but he creates a legacy that lasts far beyond any material success. Chapter 22. The Power of Focus. The Strength of Concentrating on What Matters. True success doesn't come from luck or chance, but from dedication and the ability to focus on what truly matters. In a world full of distractions, learning to concentrate on the essential is a powerful skill that separates the triumphant from those left behind. We live in a time where information overload is constant. Social media, news, emails, phone calls, and the multiple daily tasks constantly scatter our attention. And as our minds divide among so many things, our productivity suffers. Focus is the key that allows us to channel all our energy into the activities that truly move us toward our goals. Without clear focus, it's like trying to row a boat in a stormy sea without knowing where we're going. But the real power of focus is not only in directing our attention to one thing, but in understanding that the quality of our concentration is directly related to the quality of the results we achieve. When we focus on a task, that task receives our full energy and thought. The key is to be aware that this kind of focus requires discipline. It's not just about avoiding distractions, it's about having total control over our mind and choosing where we want to direct our attention. One of the biggest obstacles to focus is the lack of clarity in our desires and goals. When we don't know what we want or we have vague goals, our energy gets scattered. This is something we've heard over and over again, but most people don't take action on it. Throughout this chapter, I want you to reflect on the following. Do you know exactly what you want to achieve? Are you willing to pay the price for it? If you don't have a clear answer, it's time to sit down and think deeply about your life and what you want to achieve. Once you have clarity, the next question is, what are you doing each day to get closer to your goal? If the day passes without you doing something concrete that moves you forward, then you're likely wasting time and energy on things that don't matter. This is where focus becomes the most powerful tool. Each day is an opportunity to move a little closer in the right direction, as long as your energy and your mind are aligned with your goal. Throughout history, we've seen people achieve extraordinary things due to their ability to focus on their goals and not let themselves be distracted. Think of great inventors, entrepreneurs, and leaders who succeeded not because they were smarter than others, but because they stayed focused on what they wanted to achieve. They didn't allow themselves the luxury of distractions. They channeled their energy into what truly mattered. In fact, many times the road to success is neither the easiest nor the fastest. There are moments when difficulties will seem insurmountable, when the temptation to give up will be strong. But if one stays focused, knowing that every step taken brings them closer to their goal, then the path becomes clearer. The resistance you face shapes you, and every challenge you overcome makes you stronger. Triumphant people know that focus is not just a skill, it's a mindset. It's the willingness to choose, day after day, what truly matters and let go of fleeting temptations that don't contribute to the long-term vision. If you find yourself constantly battling procrastination, remember that the key lies in your ability to decide what is most important and prioritize it. As you build your focus, you must also develop the ability to say no. Saying no to things that aren't aligned with your goals is an act of power. If you find yourself stuck in tasks or activities that aren't leading you where you want to go, you need to make a conscious effort to eliminate them from your life. Every time you say no to something that doesn't benefit you, you're saying yes to your success. To conclude, focus is the art of concentrating on what really matters and leaving everything else aside. It's a constant exercise in discipline and reflection. But most importantly, focus is the path to success. If you can train your mind to be completely focused on your goals, you can be sure that success will be yours. Don't let the noise of the world distract you. Focus is what will take you to the top, and only those who cultivate and protect it can enjoy the fruits of true triumph. Remember, success is not just about what you do, it's about how you do it. The power of focus is what separates those who triumph from those who fall behind. Make it your ally, and nothing will stop you. Chapter 23. The Success Attitude. Believe in yourself to triumph. Attitude is everything. You may have heard this phrase many times, but let me tell you, it's the deepest and most powerful truth on the road to success. Attitude is not just how you feel or behave in a given moment, but how you face every situation, every challenge, and every obstacle life puts in your path. It is the mindset you choose to adopt in the face of adversity, fear, and doubt. Success, in its purest form, is not just about achieving material things. It's about the inner transformation that happens when you decide to take control of your life. Everything begins with your attitude, that invisible force that guides your actions, shapes your thoughts, and gives you the strength to keep going when others give up. And most importantly, the success attitude is completely within your control. Have you ever stopped to think about how you react to challenges? Most people tend to give up when things get hard, believing failure is the end of the story. But true achievers think differently. They see challenges as opportunities to learn, grow, and become stronger. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't lies in how they face adversity. To cultivate a success attitude, it's essential that you believe in yourself. Self-knowledge and confidence in your abilities are the foundation upon which everything is built. If you don't believe in yourself, it will be hard for others to do so. Doubts and inner fears will only hold you back and make you question whether you're truly capable of reaching your goals. But the truth is, success begins in your mind, and all you have to do is believe in your ability to achieve what you set out to do. One of the keys to developing a success attitude is changing how you perceive difficulties. Instead of seeing them as insurmountable barriers, view them as steps on your path. Every challenge is a chance to sharpen your skills, learn new lessons, and most importantly, prove your determination. Successful people don't see obstacles as endings, but as parts of the process that will take them to the top. If you think you can't overcome something, then you won't. But if you believe you have the ability to overcome any difficulty, then you will. In addition to self-confidence, another crucial quality of a success attitude is perseverance. It's not just about working hard when things are going well, but about pushing forward when the road gets tough. Perseverance is what allows you to keep going, even when results don't come immediately and the reward seems distant. It's the ability to stand firm, even when everyone around you tells you to give up. Remember that success is not a single event, it's a continuous process. Those who persevere, who get up time and again, are the ones who ultimately achieve what they set out to do. The success attitude is also grounded in gratitude. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, it's important to concentrate on what you've already accomplished and the blessings you have in your life. Gratitude shifts your focus and allows you to see opportunities instead of problems. When you practice gratitude, you don't just become more positive. You also open the door for more good things to enter your life. Being thankful for what you have today creates positive energy that attracts more success to you. Don't forget that a positive attitude doesn't mean always seeing the world through rose-colored glasses. It's not about ignoring the reality of difficulties, but about choosing how to respond to them. A success attitude is a mindset that, while recognizing problems, always seeks solutions. It always sees possibilities and opportunities, even when the situation looks dark. Finally, the success attitude is tied to a constant desire for improvement. Success is not something you achieve once and for all. It's something you build every day. As you become a better version of yourself, your accomplishments also multiply. This is achieved not only through hard work but also through the right attitude toward that work. Passion, enthusiasm, and dedication are essential ingredients in the process of achieving any goal. So ask yourself, do you have the right attitude to succeed? If not, it's time to change. It's time to start believing in yourself, to learn to see opportunities instead of problems, to be persistent even when the path gets hard. Because when you have the right attitude, nothing can stop you. Remember that success begins in your mind. If you choose to have a success attitude, you will be on the right path to achieving your goals. So cultivate that success attitude every day. Make it a part of you, and you'll be surprised how far you can go. Chapter 24. The Power of Focus. Keep your mind clear and in action. Success isn't something achieved overnight. It's the result of a series of focused, consistent, and persistent actions. To achieve it, one of the essential keys is focus. The ability to keep your mind clear and centered on what truly matters is what separates achievers from those who only dream of success but never reach it. Focus is not just a skill, it's a mindset. A focused person knows where they want to go and is willing to do whatever it takes to get there. Lack of focus, on the other hand, is the main obstacle many people face on their path to success. Distractions are endless in our daily lives, and if we don't learn to manage them, they can pull us away from our goals. Today, more than ever, we're surrounded by constant stimuli. Social media, emails, phone calls, text messages, and worst of all, the tendency to multitask. This dispersion of attention, although seemingly efficient in the short term, ends up being a deadly enemy of productivity. The secret of focus is simple but powerful. Learn to say no. Saying no to things that are not aligned with your goals is one of the most important decisions you can make. The people who achieve success are not those who do everything, but those who do what truly matters. This requires discipline and clarity about what you want to achieve and why you want it. When you face an opportunity or task, ask yourself, does this bring me closer to or farther from my goal? If the answer is that it takes you farther, don't hesitate to decline it. Keep your mind free of distractions. It's not about rejecting things just for the sake of it, but about having the intelligence to recognize what's really worth your time and what only diverts you. The ability to fully concentrate on a task allows you to accomplish much more in less time and with higher quality. One of the most effective techniques to improve your focus is time blocking. Instead of working on several things at once, assign specific blocks of time to each important task. Dedicate all your energy and attention to that task during that period, with no interruptions. This strategy not only increases your productivity, but also helps you maintain a high level of concentration since you're not constantly switching from one task to another. Focus is not only about time, but also about mental energy. You need to learn to channel your energy into activities that truly matter. Every action you take, every thought you have, consumes mental energy. If you're constantly worried about small things or unimportant tasks, you're diluting your energy in things that don't contribute to your goals. Successful men and women are those who know how to reserve their energy for what really matters. Additionally, it's important to recognize that focus doesn't mean doing everything yourself. True focus also lies in delegating tasks that don't directly contribute to your main goals. Instead of trying to do it all, find ways to surround yourself with people who help you move forward faster. This can come in the form of employees, partners, or even mentors who guide you along the way. Maintaining consistent focus also requires self-discipline. Self-discipline is the habit of doing what you need to do, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's not about waiting for motivation to come, but about pushing forward even when motivation falters. On your path to success, there will be days when you won't feel like working, but it will be your discipline that pushes you to keep going. It's that commitment to yourself that separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up along the way. Mental focus is also about what you choose to think. Your mind is constantly receiving information, and you must be selective about what you allow in. Negative thoughts or external distractions can rob you of your concentration and weaken your focus. Instead, feed your mind with positive thoughts, affirmations, and visualizations of your success. Keep a positive and growth-oriented mindset, focusing on solutions rather than problems. Another step on the path to successful focus is learning to visualize your goals and what you want to achieve. Visualization is a powerful tool that helps you keep your mind on the right target. By clearly visualizing your goals, you're sending powerful signals to your brain about what you want to manifest. When you keep that image in your mind every day, you're programming your subconscious to work toward the fulfillment of those goals. Focus is also a matter of priorities. Human beings have the capacity to do many things, but not all things are equally important. Learn to prioritize your tasks. Whenever you face a to-do list, ask yourself, what is the most important thing I can do right now? Don't get caught up in the urgency of small tasks that don't contribute to real progress. The key is to concentrate on what truly has an impact. In short, the ability to focus on your goals and projects is what will take you to the next level. Focus is a muscle that can be trained, and the more you train it, the stronger it becomes. The way you manage your thoughts, your energy, your time, and your priorities will determine how far you go. So make a commitment today. Keep your mind clear, focused, and aim toward success. With this powerful tool, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Chapter 25. Persistence. The secret of true achievers. Persistence is the quality that separates those who achieve success from those who fall behind. We all face obstacles and difficult moments on the path to our goals, but what truly makes the difference is the ability to keep moving forward despite adversity. In this final chapter, we will talk about the importance of persistence and how this quality can transform your life, allowing you to overcome any challenge in your path. One of the greatest truths of success is that all great achievements require continuous effort. People who succeed are not necessarily the most talented or the smartest, but those who never give up. Persistence is a powerful force that enables people to continue despite difficulties, failures, and uncertainties. If there is something that distinguishes achievers, it is their ability to stand firm in the face of adversity. When we look at great entrepreneurs, leaders, and visionaries throughout history, we see that they all faced failures. Thomas Edison, for example, failed more than 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Henry Ford went through several bankruptcies before building the automotive empire we know today. The key to their success was not avoiding failure, but learning from it and moving forward without stopping. Persistence allowed them to overcome frustration and doubt and finally see the fruits of their efforts. But how do you develop this persistence? The answer is simpler than it seems. Set a clear goal and commit to it no matter what. When you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, it becomes much easier to persevere, even when circumstances challenge you. Commitment is the key to maintaining long-term persistence. If you are truly determined to reach your goals, every failure and every obstacle becomes a lesson, not a reason to give up. Persistence requires patience. You can't expect everything to happen immediately. Success takes time, and those who understand this principle are the ones who achieve their goals. Patience helps you stay calm during moments of uncertainty and frustration while continuing to work consistently and with discipline. Patience is not passivity but an active form of waiting while still moving forward. Another essential quality of persistence is the ability to adapt. Not every path to success is linear. Along the way, you will face unforeseen events, challenges, and changes. Flexibility is key so you can adjust your strategy without losing focus on the final goal. Persistent people do not blindly cling to one single plan. Instead, they adjust their approach when necessary and look for new ways to move forward when obstacles arise. It is also crucial to maintain a positive mindset. The way you view difficulties and setbacks can make the difference between failure and success. A positive mindset allows you to see opportunities within challenges. Instead of seeing an obstacle as an end, you see it as another step on the path to your goal. Emotional resilience is a fundamental part of persistence, as it helps you stay motivated when things don't go as expected. As you continue working toward your goal, it is important to recognize the small achievements along the way. Persistence is not only about reaching a major goal but also about the constant progress you make every day. Celebrate each step forward, no matter how small. Acknowledging your progress will give you the motivation needed to keep going. Moreover, surrounding yourself with supportive people is crucial to your persistence. The path to success can be lonely at times, but having a support network can make a big difference. Achievers know they don't have to do everything alone. The support of mentors, friends, or colleagues will provide you not only with motivation but also with resources and knowledge you can use to overcome difficulties. Throughout your journey, you will face moments of doubt. It is natural to wonder if all the effort will be worth it. In those moments, remember that success is the result of constant determination. Those who triumph are the ones who, despite difficulties, keep taking action, even when they don't see immediate results. The key to persistence is knowing that true failure is not falling, but giving up. Those who give up never reach their goals. Those who persist, even in the midst of adversity, are the ones who ultimately find success. To conclude, persistence is not just a quality, it is an attitude toward life. It's the attitude of moving forward, even when the odds are against you. It is the ability to stay the course, no matter how many times you stumble. If you cultivate this persistence in your life, there is no goal that is unreachable, no obstacle insurmountable. With every step you take, you get closer and closer to your purpose. Remember, success is not a destination. It's a journey of perseverance and determination. And now you know. It wasn't luck, or magic, or fate. It was discipline. It was vision. It was character. What builds the successful man is not what he has, but what he dares to be. What he is willing to endure. What he decides to do when no one is watching. This journey we have just taken is not just a reading. It is a complete reprogramming of your being. If you've made it this far, you are no longer the same as when you started. You now carry within you the seed of change, the essence of someone who does not accept a common life because they have decided to build an extraordinary one. You have seen how a winner thinks, how he acts, how he rises, how he surpasses himself. There are no more excuses, only decisions. There are no more doubts, only purpose. Because when you align with your true inner power, the entire universe begins to respond. And now it's your turn. Because none of this means anything if you don't turn it into action. This isn't theory, it's daily practice. It's living with focus, speaking with power, walking with purpose. Don't get distracted. Don't stop. Don't settle. And if you feel this knowledge has ignited something inside you, subscribe now and comment, "I was born to succeed," so you know you are on the right path. Share this message with someone who also needs to awaken. Because the world doesn't need more mediocrity. It needs more awakened minds. More indomitable spirits. More men and women determined to leave a mark. Your story is in your hands. Write it with greatness. And don't forget this, the successful man is not born. He is forged. Every day. With every thought. With every action. And you have already begun. See you on the next journey.